Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Life is Strange True Colors, Wavelengths. Um, I do believe we are approaching the end of this, based on the decor of the inside of the record store, and the fact that we went from Halloween to New Year's in the last one, in the last part, and with that kind of a significant time jump, I believe that we are probably very close to catching up with the main game. So let's see. Ooh, Ryan's over there. Wait, he's in the same outfit as when Alex walked in the main game, and Valkyrie's on the same spot, and I'm wearing the same clothes. Oh, here we go.
Shout out to anyone who sung along with that bridge. You're awesome. New releases in just a minute, but first, let's hear from you. Hey there, you're live on KRCT. How's it going?
Hey, Steph, I heard you don't do fortunes anymore. Could you make an exception?
Sorry, those days are over.
But
Oof.
why? Did something happen?
Not really. Just started thinking life's more interesting if you don't try to predict everything first.
It's such a tiny question. All I want to know is which friend should I...
The taller one. Thanks for calling. Question from Rochelle in Colorado Springs. How's Valkyrie doing? Val let me pet her the other day, and then she bit me more gently than usual. We're definitely getting somewhere. All right, here's a new release from The Wednesday. Let me know what you think.
Radio DJ jobs in Seattle. Oh, man. She's thinking about going back to Seattle. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I think this is probably going to cut off really quick. This is about to be a really short fucking video. I just wasn't sure. Hey, Alex. Yeah, it just fucking cut off right there, didn't it? God damn it. Now I play like Markiplier when he played the Henry Stickmin games. Because he played them out of order, and then he tried to do a whole episode for Breaking the Bank on its own. And he ended up making it a whole short one because of the fact that, oh, no, he did that and then also combined it with another one. Because of the fact that he had, because fuck, what was it? Because he realized how short Breaking the Bank was, so he combined it with, I think, Escaping the Prison. I think. I can always double check, but yeah, I'm actually kind of pissed. I didn't just fucking wait. I should have waited. I should have just waited to finish that last goddamn episode. Fuck. Oh well. I mean, I guess now is a good time to kind of try to re-talk about what I did at the end of the main game, since this doesn't sound like it's super copyrighted, and then hopefully it'll actually upload, even if it is, to the point where even Twitch will get rid of it. Or get rid of the noise, the audio. But yeah, this one definitely, I genuinely feel like was a lot better than any of the other ones, because the only time I ever cried really during the other two games, like, you know, Life is Strange and Before the Storm, was at the end of the Sacrifice Chloe ending, and then I teared up a little bit at the end of Before the Storm, because you see how happy Chloe and Rachel are, and how happy that you see how happy they are, and what they're going to try to do with their life, how they're planning on moving on, and just kind of having fun with each other and everything. And then it cuts back to the dark room with the file with Rachel's name on it, and then you remember what happened to her in the first game. Which, of course, if you are watching this completely, like the whole series completely blind in timeline order, through my playlist, you'll know that, well, not you'll know, but like you'll have probably seen that and be like, oh shit, wait, what's going on? What happened to Rachel? And then you find out slowly over time what happened to her, and yeah, so yeah, I mean it's sad, but that one only made me tear up a little bit. I genuinely cried my fucking eyes out when I first saw the ending for Life is Strange 1's Sacrifice Chloe ending. And Rihanna DeVry, I think that was her. Kylie Brown was Rachel Amber. Was that actually the voice actress from the original game? I think it was Rihanna DeVry who played Chloe in the Before the Storm. Um, but yeah, and then like Tell Me Why made me pretty emotional too. I mean, that was a really good one actually. Like I was actually very, very surprised at how good that one was. And I'm hoping to see more from that series, but no, this one is definitely the best one. I was very glad that they've kind of the upped the impact for this, because like I said in the last one, like this one, because I don't rank these games based off of quality, because they are all really good. Some people will think they're fucking garbage, and they're entitled to their own opinion, even if it's wrong. but uh, but no, these games are just really good. They're all great. Like on their own, I can't just pick one as a favorite, but because of the fact that I can judge them based on emotional impact, personal emotional impact, and with this one being the one that's the most emotionally impactful to me, I think this one takes the cake as the best one for me. Not somebody might not agree, and that's totally fine. Somebody might think these games are terrible, and that's totally fine, even if you're wrong. But this one is the best one. I loved the story of this, and of course, because this is supposed to be going up in timeline order. I want people to watch this in timeline order. It's gonna be a little weird with upload order, because the main game comes first, and then this one will then be uploaded. But if you're watching this in the future and watching it in the playlist of timeline order, you'll see exactly why I feel like it was emotionally more impactful to me than the other ones. Not even just because that I'd already experienced the other games before. Like with Tell Me Why, I went in that one completely blind because it was a brand new game. It was released through Game Pass, which I have. So I played through that one blind. But with this one, I went in completely 100% blind for the video for YouTube. And with the other two I didn't. But even with my first experience with those games, with my first experience with Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, I wasn't nearly as emotionally impacted as I was with this. Like, yeah, it was kind of shocking to see Kate either jump or almost jump off the building. Yeah, it was emotional to see Chloe get shot by Jefferson. But other than the Sacrifice Chloe ending, it really wasn't that emotionally impactful to me. And this one was. And again, like I said, you'll see exactly why it's so much more impactful to me when you watch the main series, like the main game for True Colors, the main story, and then also just even playing through this, because the fact that I literally chose to save Chloe at the end of the first game, and then I made that choice at the start of this. So that's the details we got. Seeing how it affected Steph and Mikey, I'm like, fuck, I messed up. I mean, it's not like it carries over. I can go back and replay it and see how it's different. But god damn, man, it's rough. It is fucking rough to know that I directly affected people. Because, I mean, I was hoping to God that no other characters from Before the Storm that actually mattered were still in the town when it was destroyed. Like, I didn't know Steph's family would be there because she had gone off and left. Mikey and Drew, I thought were both gone because they weren't involved in the first game. And as it turns out, they were. They were 100% there. Drew was in Arcadia Bay when the storm hit. Steph's mom was in Arcadia Bay when the storm hit. So they both lost loved ones. And that makes me feel really bad. And I was always so confident in that choice because I didn't give a damn about most of everyone else in Arcadia Bay. So just me personally, I did not care about anyone in that town other than Kate and Chloe. And I mean, God, I feel bad because I know Kate was still, because we went through all that trouble to save her from killing herself, and then we ended up letting her die anyway. But the way I see it, it's like, in her belief, at the very least, she's not going to hell. You know, because she was like a die-hard Christian, because she was raised by die-hard Christians, and so she believes that if you kill yourself, you go to hell. So that's the only justification I can really make for that, is at the very least she didn't die going to hell, she died going to heaven. Because it's not like she did any of the shit that she actually was recorded doing by choice. She was drugged. She was out of it. She was pressured into doing shit while she was intoxicated, and I don't think God would blame her for that. I mean, I don't believe in the Christian God, but I was raised as a Christian, so I believe that in that kind of in that belief system, I don't think God would look down on you for whatever you do when you were forcibly intoxicated. You know, that's like saying if you get fucking roofied and you end up being forced to cheat on a spouse, you're gonna go to hell for that. No. If God seriously sends you to hell for that, then y'all need to fucking switch your goddamn religion, because Jesus Christ, that's fucked up. That is so fucked up. Like, I just think it's bullshit. So it's but so it was hard to try to hear about that in this, and it makes me kind of want to go back and play through this. I'm not gonna do it for YouTube. I'm just gonna, right now, I'm sticking with my decisions for YouTube. But I want to go back and see how it changes if I choose to sacrifice Chloe and save the town. I want to see how much difference. I mean, I feel like Steph will probably still find a reason to be upset because Chloe will be dead, and she was pretty close to Chloe. So I feel like there's probably something there, but I don't think she's going to be as bad. Like, I don't think she's going to be as depressed as if, it was her mom and an entire town of people she knew and cared about. So, I don't know, but anyway, God, yeah, this really is just going to be a really long one. Not a long one, a short one. It's going to be a short video because I don't really have much else to say other than just this was a great game. That's really all I have left to say. It was a great game, and it's my favorite one of the franchise. And knocked it out of the park. That's really all I have to say about it. Is that they straight up knocked it out of the park with this one. This was just so good. And I'm really hoping to see more from them. Oh, and I don't even know if I actually got caught in the credits on the other one. I actually want to mention this too. I had an idea for how they could possibly continue the Max and Chloe story without pissing off fans by choosing a canon ending. So Okay. Everybody knows how with Pokemon... I'm gonna wait for the siren, hold on. Okay. Um... So everybody knows with the Pokemon games how they all release like 2 or 3 different versions of the same fucking game with slight differences. And if they can put that much, well, I mean, it's probably not much effort, just a little bit of a different coding and then bam, the fucking game. I feel like it's criminal, but whatever. Anyway. I think Don't Nod should try to do something like that. Where they make 2 games. One allows you to play through the story if you sacrifice Chloe. So you be Max going on with her life trying to deal with the trauma that she has to deal with, because it's not just losing Chloe. It's losing Chloe in the bathroom, losing Chloe to Jefferson, losing Chloe to herself, having to go back in time and lose her in the bathroom again. Having to talk Kate down off the roof, realizing that her teacher's a fucking creep and a pervert and a murderer, and all this other shit, and then having to kill Chloe in a different timeline because she saved her dad, and then having to go back and let her dad die anyway. Like, I think that would be a really cool story to try to explore. Like, give her powers or don't give her powers. Like, let her keep her rewind power or take it from her and just let her live her life normally. I don't care what they do with that. I just want to see a continuation of that story. But I also want to see them continue the story with Max and Chloe still alive, dealing with the fact that they let an entire town of people die just so they could be together. Or, well, that Max let an entire town of people die so that she and Chloe could be together. And I think that would be a really good idea. I mean, it would be so much work. It would be so much money. But I think that would be a really cool way to kind of continue it. Especially because a lot of games, like the Mortal Kombat games, or like the Injustice games, they expect you to go read comic books to get backstory. And with the Injustice games, I get it. That makes sense. They're based on a fucking comic book property. But Mortal Kombat, really? We had to read fucking prequel comics for Mortal Kombat X to get backstory on the fucking Outworld Civil War and to find out how Mileena got got Shinnok's amulet and all the other shit. And it's ridiculous, And I don't want to see Don't Not do the same thing. I don't want to see the developers of this game do the same thing as NetherRealm. Like, I love NetherRealm to death, but I think that's one of the dumbest things they've done. Is try to get backstory in comic books, because that's so much more money than a video game. It is, because you have so many more issues of a comic than you do the actual game, and most comic books are like, I want to say $15 to $20 depending on where you're shopping and what condition it's in, if it's used, whatever. I think that because I haven't bought very many comic books. I bought the first issue of the DC story where they were kind of combining it with Watchmen. And it was Batman sitting in the Batcave. He's studying the yellow button with the blood stain from Watchmen. And then suddenly Reverse Flash shows up and starts kicking the shit out of him. And then I think the real Flash shows up. And that's kind of where it ends. But there's much more to that story. And I would have had to pay so much more money. And I think I paid like somewhere between $10 and $20 for that. For that one comic. For like fucking 15, 20 pages. So it's basically like $1 per page. And I don't want to see Don't do the same thing with the story of Max and Chloe. Oh, and again, like with the Walking Dead games, with the Clementine story. That even makes sense, because that is based on a comic book. So it makes sense that would continue in a comic book. It sucks, but it makes sense. It doesn't make sense for Mortal Kombat, and it doesn't fucking make sense for Life is Strange. So I would love to see them continue their story in 2 separate games with 2 separate stories. Again, so much work would have to go into that to make that come true. But it would be so cool to see it happen. Because you can't piss off anybody doing that. I mean, you might piss them off by the way you continue the story, But you can't piss them off in the sense that you've picked a canon ending for your story. You've allowed the fans to pick a canon ending for themselves. And I think that's so much better than just picking a canon ending. Like with the Walking Dead games. All they could do for you is say, oh, you chose, like I said at the end of season 2, which had a lot more ending choice, right? Say, oh, you chose to shoot Kenny and let Jane live, but then you decided to go off on your own. Okay, well now you're missing a finger because you got your hand jammed in a door by a walker. Oh, you decided to stay with Jane. Okay, well you guys went back to Carver's fucking warehouse superstore thingy, and oh, you chose to let the people there stay, like the people who tried to come and look for shelter stay. Well, they rob you and leave, and then also, oh yeah, Jane dies because she hangs herself and finds out that she finds out that she's pregnant with Luke's baby. And Luke died in season 2, so she doesn't want to live with that fact, so she just killed herself. And oh, you saved Kenny. You let Kenny kill Jane. And then you stayed with him instead of going to Wellington. Well, guess what? He dies in a car crash. See, like that. I don't want Don't to do the same thing with that. I don't. Like, I love the fact that they're still trying to bring in like new stories and everything, or even like prequels to their story. Well, I mean, didn't do Before the Storm. I don't know why I keep thinking that they did. They didn't do Before the Storm, but Square Enix decided to let them bring in a prequel story for Chloe. But I want to see Don't Nod continue that story. I want to see them continue the Tell Me Why story. I want to see them continue this story the most. I mean, like, it's a tie between continuing this story and continuing Max and Chloe's story. Max and or Chloe's story, I guess. Because I loved this game the most. I did, so I want to see them continue this. But at the same time, I want to know what happened with Chloe and Max. I mean, they said in this that they're just the two wandering weirdos, and that's all the information we get about them. And I mean, I'm sure there's something mentioning Max or something if you chose to sacrifice Chloe, and then that's the choice you make for this when you start Steph's chapter, because I mean, it's totally different. I mean, that whole section of this episode is going to be totally different if you choose that. So it's hard to try to choose one. So my thing is, do both. Make a game about Max and Chloe living their life after the destruction of Arcadia Bay, and then on the side, make a game about Max dealing with all the trauma from her experiences with the rewind power and her time in Arcadia Bay, and then letting her best friend die. Like, I want to see more of that story in one way or another. And I know a lot of other people would love to see how that continued. But a lot of people chose different options. A lot of people chose Chloe, and a lot of people chose the town. And you can't just pick one, because say they chose to make sacrificing the town canon. So you're off with Chloe. You're gonna piss off everybody who chose to save the town. But then if you actually choose to save the town and make that the canon ending, then you're gonna piss off everybody who saved Chloe. And nobody's gonna win there. So I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see it go on. But they have to do 2 games. So that way us as the fans can choose our own personal canon. And I just think that would be great. It would be so cool if they could do that. But I doubt it will happen. I really do. Because that is a lot of work. Like I said, it's so much work. And it's so much money. Like, they'd have to put so much into that in order to make that a reality. But God, what it would be. How amazing would it be if they could? I mean, it would be amazing. It would be awesome. So maybe they'll do it one day. Maybe they won't. Who knows? All I know is that I can't wait to see whatever Don't Nod does next, because they do a really good job at making these games. They really do. Special thanks to the Critical Role and Dark Horse team. Yep, see, so Critical Role, those are the people who made the Vox Machina, and I guess they also are... And then Dark Horse are the ones who made the comic book, I guess. Or maybe there's a comic book version of it, I don't know. But it's based off of the people from Critical Role, so Matthew Mercer, Marisha Ray, and a bunch of other people I can't think of off the top of my head. But the only reason I even know Marisha Ray is because I watched Bat in the Sun's Superpower Beatdown series, and she used to be a host on that, and then I guess she left because she wanted to go off and do other things. And they also got to be really different too, because they've changed a lot of the way they do things there too, and they've taken forever to upload anything new. I think they might be done with Superpower Beatdown, honestly, because I haven't seen them do anything with that in recent years, which sucks because that was so cool. That was one of the coolest things to do. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I've been rambling for like fucking 24 minutes, because that whole section was like 3 minutes long. But I wanted to get something out of this video, because I knew as soon as I saw Steph like starting like dance and everything, I'm like, oh fuck, it's over. The chapter's over. It's already done. So I wanted to try to fill this video up with something substantial, something to make this longer. But at the same time shorter, because it's only like half an hour. But anyway, like I said though, now once I end this, I'm probably gonna take a break and go get something to eat, because I'm actually quite hungry. And then we're starting Sally Face. We are finally going to be starting a different game. Ooh, excuse me. We're going to be starting a different game finally. A whole new series. Not just Life is Strange. So, hope you guys are ready for that. And then after Sally Face, we're going to do... At the part 1 of Sally Face, we're going to do a part 1 Ultra Deluxe and see what's different from that. Because, like I said when I finished Stanley Parable, and I was talking about how they're releasing the Ultra Deluxe edition eventually, I said I'm not going to bother doing the original endings of the game. I want to see what the new stuff is. And if it's going to make me do the original endings, like how this one made me play the main game before playing Steph's story, then yeah, I'll probably go ahead and play the original endings on my own time. I'm not going to waste everybody else's time by playing through that again on the channel. So I'll play through the original endings on my own time and then go do the new stuff. But I am very excited. I have been keeping myself away from spoilers for the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Like, there's Jacksepticeye videos where he's been playing it. He's been playing that one on his channel. Captain Excellent has been doing Easter egg videos and hidden detail videos. And every time he starts to introduce Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, I just either skip it or end the video depending on where in the video it is. Same thing with any other YouTube video, really. And thankfully, I haven't been getting spoilers in like it's anywhere else on the internet. So I have been keeping myself completely blind to everything new in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I am very excited to play that one, because I loved the original one. And it's like I said about Sally Face as well. I think I mentioned it. But I have already experienced the entirety of that game once. So I know the big plot points, and I won't spoil them here in case you haven't already seen it. But I know the big plot points, I know what's coming, but the little stuff, jump scares, I won't probably know, I won't remember. But I am definitely looking forward to this, and I hope you guys are too. So anyway, let me go ahead and end this one so we can get on to that. this is kind of a really weird close to the Life is Strange series. And I mean, and again, I mean, technically this isn't a close if you're watching this in timeline order, like I'd wanted initially anyway. If you're watching this in timeline order, you're just gonna go on to the main story anyway. So, you know, hope you guys enjoy that. But for me personally, at the moment, because of the way that the way time works, for me and anybody else who has already seen everything that this series has to offer from my channel and anyone else's channel, really, hope you guys are ready for Sally Face and Stanley Parable. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. For those of you on YouTube, leave a like and comment. Subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to ring the bell to be notified of when I upload a new video. For those of you on Twitch, make sure you're following the channel and catching the streams when I go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then.